Previously on the 308 rebuild, the smoky troubled engine got removed from the car and it went off down to Ricky at RE Performance, where the strip down began, only to face yet more issues removing those stuck solid heads. However, one special tool later and that hurdle was finally sorted. The cleanup then began and we left off waiting to remove the gearbox and bottom end, keeping our fingers firmly crossed that no more hidden issues would arise. Today, we're taking everything to the next level with the help of my team of experts. Now I'm heading on down to see the team at CSP, although I'm not getting anywhere fast right now. I'm sat in traffic. But anyone who watches the channel will know we've used the team there several times in the past because they are simply the best in the business. We've used them on the BBI project, with various things including the wrinkle finish on the cam covers, through to recently on the 360 where we transformed some very tired, very neglected carbon ceramic brake calipers into something better than new. But today we're going to be using them for something slightly different. We're going to be doing some work on the 308 manifolds and exhaust system with a product called Cerakote. Now first up, some facts. These manifolds are just standard 308 43-year-old factory fitted items, and one would think by looking at them that these are way beyond saving, but you are about to be amazed at what CSP can do with them. Now after the manifolds are baked off to help bring all the old oils, chemicals and built up dirt to the surface, they're hung out to cool down for a little while before they head on over to the blast machine. And this is where the first stage of magic starts to happen. All of those years of surface rust are blasted away in minutes, leaving a beautifully clean metal surface. Who would have thought that beneath all of that rust there was still a shiny perfect manifold? And just look at that, it's hard to believe that this is the same one we started with. Now I would be more than happy with the results to just take this away as it is, but there's more, a little extra that is going to make these even better. Next up, with everything cleaned, we are now able to remove some of the stuck bolts.
This should have been the first job. Just getting all this crap out of these.
Yeah, that's a little bit different, isn't it, that one? Simon then cleans up the manifold ends where we had an old perished exhaust donut that had literally welded itself to the metal. And then it's back into the cabinet for a final blast. Now these guys really do the job properly. Where needed, holes get taped or bunged up, stopping any blast media entering inside expensive mechanical parts. And it's that attention to detail that makes CSP so good at what they do. And then it's time for stage 2 of the magic to begin. But before I show you that, there's something just as cool I want you to see. Owning any car is great, and even more so if it's a supercar. But for the vast majority of us, we heavily rely on our cars every day to get us from A to B. So when unexpected things go wrong and you're left in situations like this, well, it's far better to be prepared. That's why these ASMAX products are simply brilliant. Let's take this tiny ASMAX T10 device. You can use it to inflate a flat tire. So let's get it out of the box, put it to the test. Well, look at the size of that. That's the T10. It's just slightly bigger than the palm of my hand. Screw that onto our wheel. Tires need to be at 42. And as you can see, we've currently got 3 PSI. Okay, so let's time it and see how long it takes the ASMAX T10 to inflate a completely flat mini tire. So 7.5 minutes, which is not bad for a device that size, and I can tell you it is a lot quicker and a lot easier than using a hand pump. So a big thumbs up to the tiny little T10. But that's not all, because the T10 has a few more tricks up its sleeve. It doubles up as a power bank where you can plug in your USB or USB-C cable and charge your flat phone. It also has a handy torch. With the T10's inflation pressures ranging from 2 to 160 psi, it means it's extremely versatile, suitable for everything from inflating basketballs to high pressure road tyres. And if you need a product with more features and more power, there's the T20 model, which even contains a jump starter. And with a peak current of 4,000 amps, it can easily jumpstart vehicles and can restart them 25 times on a full charge, allowing it to handle everything from cars to pickup trucks. So pick up the awesome ASMAX T10 or T20 with all of their amazing features and keep one in your car. Simply click on my link in the description below the video and grab yours today. Back to the manifolds, and Josh quickly blasts off any final loose dirt with some compressed air. My chosen Cerakote colour is a Glacier Silver, and with that mixed up, ready to go, let's sit back and watch the master at work. Now there's several reasons I've gone with a Cerakote finish on the exhaust system. Firstly, it's heat resistant over 1,000 degrees, and with the lower surface temperatures, it's retaining heat inside the exhaust. The outer surface of the pipes run cooler. This can then reduce the heat soak in the engine bay, protecting things like wiring harnesses, hoses and nearby components. Also, it's going to improve exhaust scavenging. Keeping the exhaust gases hotter allows them to flow more efficient, which can then help with performance and throttle response. And once Josh finishes the spray work, the manifolds then head into the oven to dry off. Now there's something very satisfying seeing an oven full of freshly refinished exhaust parts. One set of baked manifolds later, and Simon hangs them out on the rack to cool off. Finally, Curtis performs one last test to double check everything is perfect by measuring the Cerakote's thickness.
Between 1 and 2 mil, 2 is on the thicker side for this coating, but it's got to be 1 mil is the minimum, and that's come up as,
and that's that, and that's the reading on that.
Yeah.
So we show them.
1, there you go, just a funny reading.
Yeah. Awesome.
1.2, yeah.
Guys, how good do these look? The chaps at CFP have done an absolutely amazing job, as usual. With 1,000 degree protection from the Cerakote, these are better than new. But that's not all, because once we combine this with the engine when it's back from Ricky, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. What I love is the 308 project is taking a little bit of a turn at the moment. It's going in a different direction. So we've got the newly finished manifolds. We've got to sort out the rest of the exhaust, but really the game plan is to make it now, the 308 engine, look a little bit like the BBI. So we've got some wrinkle finish to do on the top cover. We're going to have obviously the internals of the 308 looking great, but also we're going to see if we can do some stuff on the exterior with things like this. We'll order up some more yellow zinc bolts, all the little bits. Martin's going to be doing all the metering units, and he vapor blasts that down at Grey Goose, so they will come back looking similar to those. Same with the warm-up regulator. So that combined with that, there's a couple of other bits I want to do as well. And then if we can vapor blast the covers, we've got a couple more of those. Wrinkle finish this again, so this is the top plenum. And then, as we're going the extra mile, at the moment I'm looking in to try and find someone who can do the yellow zinc plating on all these fuel lines here. That would be amazing, because that is something that you really do see straight away when you open the engine lid. So watch this space. Now the other job I need to do on the 308 on both sides, just to show you on this one, on the drive shafts, is perished rubber boots. So we're going to be doing that. Unfortunately, I've bought some, but I can't find out where they are. However, I do have this rather nifty tool that I cannot wait to try out. So normally, to remove these, you will have to strip all of this apart, take it all away from the actual shaft, and then slip the boot on, put it all together. And that is a nightmare. We did that on the BBI before, but apparently with this tool, we slip our rubber boot over here, and then we expand it with this. The rubber boot sits on there. You slip the drive shaft in like that, and then when you're in place, we just remove it. Have no idea if it works. It was very cheap. We'll talk about that later on, but if it saves me stripping these down, replacing these boots, that is going to be absolutely amazing. So I've just got to find the boots, and then we'll probably have to do that in the next video. I might also try and clean these up, because the ones on the BBI we made look absolutely amazing. Let me show you, we've got those in the other unit. There you go. That is one from the BBI. A little bit different, much more shiny, and well, it's probably better than new, that. So can we do that same thing with the 308? How far shall we go with this 308, guys? Let me know in the comments below. This far, or just get it done and sold? The other thing I'm looking forward to, it's going to be interesting to see how the 328 engine here, which is very, very similar to the 308, most of the bottom end looks the same, just a little bit different on the plenum chamber at the top there. Obviously that's out of my 328, but otherwise that side by side with the 308. Now, to be fair, this is probably in better condition than the 308 was a month ago, before we started doing a few bits of the cleaning up on with the jet wash on the lower, like very oil stained bottom. Anyway, it'll be good to see how much we can improve a 308 side by side with the 328. All right, so that is some very nice shiny bits for the engine on the 308, but I think it's now time we jump in the car, head on down to the SG Brothers and see what's happening with the exterior on the 308. Let's go. Now, if you remember, we left off with the guys fixing all the bodywork imperfections and removing those extra holes drilled into the Ferrari when it went over to the US to house those ghastly side markers. Today, it's stage 2 of the process as the 308 heads to the spray booth, ready for some primer. When we videoed here last time at the SG Brothers, I asked your opinion whether or not I should keep the original rare factory grey over black or change it to something else. Well, the majority of you all agreed with Mr. Wayne Carini, who had once seen the car and refused to colour change it due to its rarity. So I'm going with the majority vote, and the grey stays. Okay, so while Gert finishes prepping off the 308, I'm going to give you a little tour of some of the other toys around here. So we've got a really, really nice 360 over here, having some work done on the front, a little bit of a repair. Now, one of my first 360s, or my first 360, was a red with crema interior, Rosso Corso, but this one is particularly nice. First of all, it's a manual, and secondly, it's got the very rare carbon sports seats. Now these look like they were spec from factory because they've got the crema with red stitching, the same as the door cards here as well. And I noticed on this car it's also got the Challenge grille on the back, so a very nice spec 360. Over here we've got a Bentayga in for a little bit of a polish up. Nice car. And then over here we've got Sonny finishing off the California Sonny. Now,
Don't forget tea.
California tea. Now, I just did a tour on Instagram. I called this one a Portofino, and I called the 360 a 308. So the two Ferraris in here I got completely wrong. Now, this is a really, really cool project the guys are working on. They are transforming this G-Wagon into a Rocket 900. So it's going to have all the kit on the exterior. It's going to have wheels. It's going to have the interior. I believe it is going to be the first one transformed in this country. So follow the guys. I'm going to put their Instagram down here, and you'll see the progress on this. It is a very, very exciting project. I'll put a few little B-roll clips of some of the bits going on that car. This is very cool. Would like this as a daily. Let's have a little look on the inside of this. Check out the seats and the interior. Look at those. Very, very nice indeed. I can totally see myself driving one of those as a daily one day. So let's just check out the back seats. As a father with children, it's always good to see how much leg room they've got back there. A bit sad, I know, but there you go. GT63S, very, very cool indeed. And then over here we've got a Rolls-Royce Ghost in, again, really nice colour this one. Check that interior out, the car is actually locked at the moment, but wow, someone was brave with that spec, but it really works very well indeed. Anyway, that's just a few of the cars around here. Now you might recall that my 308 had a colour-coded roof. Most 308 Targas came from factory with a black vinyl look, and I'm not actually even sure if Ferrari offered it as a factory option. So let me know in the comments below if you know, did Ferrari offer a colour-coded Targa roof? Either way, I think it really suits the lines of my car, so that's what I'm sticking with. Gert then finishes prepping the car and then it's ready to be hit with its first coat of primer. Now, some of you are probably looking at this thinking, why is the whole car not being sprayed? Well, this is high build primer and it's only being applied to the areas of the car where we've done some small repairs and filled those side markers. The bodywork on this Ferrari was really very good for a 43-year-old car. It had no rust, which is very unusual for a 308, and the handful of small dings on the panels, to be fair, were caused by me. So the main reason for the paintwork that we're doing right now was two things. Firstly, I just could not stand those side markers that will ruin the beautiful Euro spec lines of this 308. And secondly, we had a few patches of lacquer peel, which again, hands up, that was down to me, where I pressure washed the car a little bit too close and caused some problems. Now once the high build primer is applied, the car then needs to sit for a good week, letting it all dry and settle before we can carry on with the next stage, when we'll be back with the SG brothers for an update. So I'm going to leave Gert to finish off the 308 while I head on back to my unit. Well guys, the 308 project is really starting to come together now. I love it, as I said earlier, that this has taken a slight detour. Where we were going to have a nice 308, we are now going to have a rather spectacular one. Anyway, join me next time when we are back down with Ricky to finish off doing some work on that engine, making that look superb. Then we'll be over with the SG brothers to get the exterior of the car all sorted out. When it all comes back together, this is going to be a magnificent 308 for someone. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Until then, you can check out what I get up to on a daily basis in this place. Stay safe. Ciao for now.